Not sure if you guys remember someone named Tucker Carlson, but God, it's honestly gratifying to see
so
him
funny.
flounder about.
Desperate for attention.
And no one's giving it to him because no one cares, because he's not on Fox. It just shows how much the machine makes the man. It did for Bill O'Reilly before he was ousted for sexual harassment. And same thing for Tucker.
There were reports that either last week or the week before that he had published a book, and the book sales were anemic. Like he got something like a few thousand book sales his first week. Like as you said with the machine makes the man, or sort of the medium is the message type thing. We sort of were potentially a little concerned that Tucker might still have that reach, but without the time slot, he became basically nothing.
Which is so gratifying, I gotta be honest with you, because I would love to hear his internal dialogue as it relates to his complete lack of relevance at this point. I mean, I don't know. He's probably swimming in so much money. That dulls the senses to a degree, but he interviewed Vivek Ramaswamy. What was his rap name? Vivek, right? Vivek. He interviewed Vivek. See out the trail on Tucker on Twitter. No one cares. But I just want to give a little bit of attention to Vivek because he's the only Republican that Trump seems to be speaking positively about. Yes. What?
I'll just say Tucker not looking very good.
Yeah. Well, he could be some guy that Trump picks for something, right? I don't think VP is going to be.
There's not a whole lot of personnel left over after the first administration and how it flamed out, and how a lot of people got burned. So yeah, you're going to need people. Some
just kind of like Ivy League libertarian ghoul who made a lot of money in his own right, who wants to rebrand himself, but. This is him sitting and talking with Tucker about what he truly believes, especially because there was an Atlantic profile of him that came out a few days ago where he was quoted saying, how many federal agents were on the plane in 9/11, evoking some sort of conspiracy theory about 9/11 being an inside job.
And the Wall Street Journal editorial board has released a few things calling into question his investments and things that he's supported. Like, is he a member of the swamp or not? So that type of thing that he's responding to.
So here he is.
But why would the Wall Street Journal take time out of its busy schedule of defending low capital gains taxes to attack you over this?
What's interesting is you defend low capital gains taxes, you idiot. Tucker is so grating when he pretends to be a populist.
Yeah, he can't help even in the first breath still do the phony fake I'm a economic populist. The literal thing he said that Bill O'Reilly was doing 20 years ago.
Which never would matter whatsoever in practice, because the Republican Party that he supports fully and the nominees and the candidates that he fully supports all are in favor of lowering the capital gains tax 100%. All right.
But why would the Wall Street Journal take time out of its busy schedule of defending low capital gains taxes to attack you over this?
What's interesting is I think that there's a bipartisan consensus in this country right now that we, the people, we can't handle the truth. It's like Jack Nicholson at the end of the movie, right?
Yes.
You can't handle the truth. You need me on that wall. My basic view in this campaign is no, we don't need you on that wall. And yes, we can handle the truth. COVID-19, what was the origin? What did we know about the vaccines before we mandated them? What did we know about Hunter Biden's dealings before we systematically suppressed that story? What do we know about the truth of what happened on January 6th? What do we know about that Nashville shooter manifestor, the transgender individual who shot up a bunch of people in a Christian school? That's why I went to Nashville not that long ago, because Bill Lee, a Republican governor of Tennessee, now wants to pass a red flag law in Tennessee without releasing that manifesto. The whole point is the public can't handle the truth. And so I had offline discussions. I mean, we're talking with, big donors in the Republican Party, big folks in media, executives and otherwise, who said, hey, listen, okay, even if what you're saying is true, this is not helping you. You say, why is that the first question that should go through my mind, right? I mean, personally, I think the way I'm running this campaign is I'm not thinking about what's helping me or not before I say it. So far, at least that approach does seem to be helping me. Yes, we're doing all right.
Performance of.
But even if I were, I'd rather lose some election than to play some political snakes and ladders of what we're supposed to say.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really one of the questions at issue today, as it was in 1776. Do we believe that the public can be trusted with the truth? Whatever the truth is, just give me the hard truth. I mean, I have a friend of mine, her father died recently. She talked about actually her experience of her father having heart attacks even when she was a kid. He went on to live as far as he did. But she said the one thing she just wanted from the doctors, from her dad, et cetera, is, she's 12 years old at the time. I can handle the truth. Just tell me, like, is my dad going to die? Is my dad likely to die before he goes in for the next procedure? Don't just tell me he's going to live because you think that's what I need to hear. Just tell me the truth and I can handle the truth. I think most of us are this way. I think we as free human beings, what makes us human beings and not animals is the belief that we can believe in something bigger than ourselves and that we can handle the truth from those who are in power. And I think that's the moment we live in today. It was the moment of the American Revolution that we, the people, can be trusted. And I think we now live in a moment where the government, and not just the government, but a broader establishment in our country, believes that citizens of this nation cannot be trusted with the truth.
So when you describe the way
All
that
right, I'm not saying anything about truth to help my own candidacy or my campaign. No. But go to my website and buy my truth hats. Truth, period. That's the hat that he wears every single rally, and that's his merch. Talking about truths as eternal, and it's like you know deep down what is true and what is pure. That's fascist talk.
Well, I mean, look, there's definitely a lot of obfuscation of truth going on in politics. That's certainly true. And I think like the idea that it starts with the vaccine that actually saved lives. Say what you feel about the mRNA vaccine. And, I would say maybe the things that I have issue with is that it's still not free, the boosters, or it's not free anymore, I should say. But Vivek, here's the one thing that Tucker, and I just looked at the transcript for this entire 45-minute interview. I searched it on YouTube, so not at the actual source because I can't do it on Twitter. But nowhere did the words George Soros come up. And if you look at this Forbes article here from May 3rd, 2023, Wikipedia editor says they were paid to change Vivek Ramaswamy's page, and that is in relation to him getting a Soros Foundation grant to go through college at Yale. So I agree that people should be able to confront the truth, and we should not treat people like babies, that they're afraid. We should be able to trust them with information and not hide them from it because we're concerned about the way that they might receive it.
Per this piece, the changes include scrubbing the fact that Ramaswamy received the Paul and Daisy Soros Fellowship for New Americans in 2011 and Ramaswamy's role in the Ohio COVID-19 response team.
Well, is that truth, Vivek? Come on, buddy.
It's like the movie, Tucker. It's like the movie.
Yeah, he's creating his own truth on Wikipedia. And I guess if you define truth as a falsified perception or portrayal of your record, then that is truth, but it's not actually true. And that's just kind of the danger of that rhetoric.
These
right?
principles are being simulated by the worst, most cynical people that completely work for the worst, the enemies. I mean,
it's the same thing with free speech.
Exactly.
It's kind of, but the truth is really just what you feel in your bones. And I know what you feel in your bones. You feel that Mexicans are coming over to rape your kids over the border. That's what you feel, and that's true. And you shouldn't be able to be prevented by the Jack Nicholsons of the bipartisan consensus. Man, was that a convoluted way to get this point across. From saying that truth. And notice he says no facts. He just says what they're not telling you about the COVID vaccine.
Exactly.
They're not telling you about the trans shooter in Nashville, which again, dog whistles. There's no hard facts that he describes. What we would say are truths are that in this country, we have a health system that completely gouges you, and that that's outcomes because of privatization are far behind other countries that have socialized medicine. What we say is that the child tax credit essentially cut child poverty by somewhere between 40 and 50% when it was implemented as a part of a response to COVID, and that we should make those things permanent. That is a truth. What we say is that gay rights are human rights, trans rights are human rights. Those are things that I feel are eternal truths. And or not just eternal, but the borne out by the facts. And
So all of these guys get really concerned with
Yeah.
shootings when a trans person might have done it or did it.
yeah, and notice he even says there, like, he wants to put a red flag law in place, but he won't even. Can't even see the inner workings of the deranged trans shooter's mind. So that's the truth he's trying to hint at there. But
It's like Nazis talking about Jewish crimes.
Yeah, right. Right. So, also Alex Jones said that Vivek was the new version of him. So, high
Well, Alex
praise
Jones
from a
is
truth teller, Alex Jones, who broke a record based on the amount that he had to pay out based on his lies.
That's because Alex Jones is a plant too. Like he's not, and people have been saying this since like the 90s about that guy. Like he is, like he'll fundamentally, I mean, like all the stuff we said about Vivek, which is going to become more apparent, because if you think for a second, like unless Vivek is just running to be a Trump stalking horse, if he gets any kind of momentum, Trump's going to crush him on that stuff, I think.